Scott just made the point.
Jefferson seems to be a lot more secure, not just.
Do you have to be a politician to be president? Well, 3 more Republicans enter the White House race this week, and 2 have never served in elective government office. I'm PJTV's Scott Ott, joined now by Stephen Green and Bill Whittle. And then Carly Fiorina, Ben Carson, and Mike Huckabee all announced as candidates for president this week. This is Carson's first run for anything. He's a retired neurosurgeon. Fiorina has 1 failed Senate race under her belt. She's a former tech company executive. And of course, Huckabee was governor of Arkansas for 2.5 terms, lieutenant governor for part of another, and he ran for president once before back in 2008. He was also a talk show host and a Christian pastor. Now, Steve, people say that they're sick of politicians and that we need to clean house. But the siren song of political experience draws us toward the rocks of disappointment almost every time. What's wrong with us?
Well, for starters, I think Rocks of Disappointment was U2's last album. You know what? In a way, there's nothing wrong with this. We have strayed so far from our small federal government founding principles that if you want an effective president, it takes somebody with a lot of experience in covering their asses, in mastering policy wonk details that never would have existed 50 or 100 years ago, somebody who's good at gaming the system, somebody who can hobnob with the other world players to come up with beautiful ideas, you know, like a world tax, a world carbon tax to save the environment and all this stuff. And there's another element too, a domestic element that I think gets forgotten in all this, and it came from a comment from a reader of mine at vodkapundit.com, and I wish I could remember who said this. Said people are willing to overlook corruption of the Clintons because they know it takes the corruption of a Clinton to deliver the goodies after Election Day and once they're in office. So our voters may not be as dumb as you think. They may just have figured out how to game the system themselves. And what a sad, sad state of affairs for what's supposed to be a great and decent country.
Well, Bill Whittle, for men like James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and William Wilberforce, and by the way, for the viewers on YouTube, those were all people who lived more than 100 years ago. For guys like this, politics was a career. I mean, maybe even a calling. Shouldn't we be highly skeptical of these political dabblers with no track record of devotion to public service?
Yeah, but I don't know that any of them were politicians, were they? Right? I mean, politics was a calling, but they weren't politicians. We're all called to politics. None of the 3 of us are politicians, and we don't, well, maybe the guy in the center square's dabbled in it a little bit, but, you know, things were a little tight in Pennsylvania. Sometimes you got to do dirty things to get a job and feed your family, filthy things, things you can't really talk about. You know, the thing about the Founding Fathers, it's so remarkable, just because I'll get to the candidates in a second, is we tell the story backwards, right? We tell the story of the, you know, 6 flags on the moon and walk it backwards of the greatest nation in the history of the world and walk it backwards to this small little group of extraordinary men who were brought here by God and just descended from the clouds in Olympus, surrounded by their nimbus of awesomeness, and Washington and Jefferson and Adams and Madison, and we sit there breathless. But the fact of the matter is these guys must have sat around at some point and said, surely the king will send a duke or an earl or somebody who knows what they're doing to straighten this mess out. And after years and years and years of this person not showing up, they must have looked around and said, well, no one's coming. I guess it's going to have to be us. It's going to have to be a brewer and a silversmith and a planter and a small, you know, lawyer and a smuggler and, you know, and various and sundry losers and layabouts who just happen to believe in politics when politics didn't go to politics. Politics came to them. And I think that's the case with at least 2 out of the 3 of the people we've mentioned. You know, how do you not like Mike Huckabee? He's not my choice for president. I pick him over Hillary, but that's not going to happen. We all know it's not going to happen. But the other 2 are interesting because they're unknowns. And my theory of government is it's a citizens' republic. They should be able to walk into there and do not only a good job, but a better job than professional politicians. With that said, as candidates, I'm not so sure. I've met them both. I've had a chance to speak to both of them. They're both brilliant. That's good. I think they need some work on the charisma side. I think Ben Carson's the smartest guy I've ever seen. Ben Carson's a shockingly brilliant guy. But If you watch Ben Carson talks, he talks with his eyes closed, and he looks down at the ground a lot and paces. I'll see, like that. That's a lovely pose for somebody delivering a lecture at Johns Hopkins, but that's not how. Forget politics. That's not leadership. See, this is the thing. We want people who aren't politicians. I'm totally in favor of this. I couldn't agree with this more. But they do have to be candidates, right? They do have to have the ability to become politicians. And I think if we look at the history of the candidates since the Tea Party started, we've had a lot of people who we liked a lot, Sarah Palin, one of them, who just weren't able to deliver as candidates. They weren't able to take what they brought from the real world and turn it into politics. And like it or not, this is a political game. So look, I think they can both win. I think they both have a lot to said for them. I personally would like to see Carly as Commerce Secretary and Ben as Surgeon General. That'd be my dream world. But hey, you know, let 1,000 flowers bloom.
Well, you know, opponents of the U.S. Constitution back in 1787-88 thought that a politician's term should not exceed 1 year to keep him close to the people. And no one should make a career of it, but return to his trade, lest he forget what it's like to live under the laws that he passed. Yet the so-called anti-federalists were no less likely to return their favorite politicians to office time and time again. And few politicians besides George Washington possessed the discipline, the humility, the mastery over his own lust for power to return to the plow, so to speak. Inexperience in office is no barrier to serving as the nation's chief executive, if one has other leadership experience. The jobs are similar enough. However, nothing can prepare you for running for office unless it might be shoveling pig manure while naked in front of a crowd of catcalling strangers and your grandmother. Lacking the common sense to avoid that should be the primary disqualifier for the presidency, regardless of political resume. For Bill Whittle, Stephen Green, and the entire Trifecta crew at PJTV.com, I'm Scott Ott.